Yeah, that's not doing the thing it should be doing.
Careful, we might be visible and audible.
Property. Oh,
well,
we're on.
are we?
This is fine. Hello, everyone.
Well, I fucked that one up, didn't
Michelle's
I?
still working some stuff out.
Welcome to our technical difficulties.
Why is that not working? Screw it. Let's just go with it. Welcome, everyone, to another little game of Fallout from us. My name is Michelle. I am the Overseer. We have a bunch of players here. Say hello, players.
Hello,
Players.
We also have Evee with us, who I have forgotten to add to the graphics. Say hello, Evee.
Hi.
I like you. You don't make a little joke out of it, Evee. You can stay. So, let's get on to our little game. So, last time, our players were rescued, I guess, kind of, but also not, kind of, from death at the hands of very bad death metal-inspired robots calling themselves the Forge by a bunch of clean, chrome, pristine robots identifying as the Baconites. And they met the leader, Kathy Bacon, a robot whose personality was based on a famous actor from centuries before. Shout out to all the people that play Masks of Nyarlathotep, by the way. So, she offered, after explaining a little bit about what the Baconites deal is, to put everyone up in her home. And the players travelled across the Commonwealth, north of Boston, and saw the full extent of the war that has been going on. Thousands of robots crashing into thousands of robots, lots of dead people, lots of dead robots, just a complete shit show in the war between the Forge, the Baconites, and the Institute. They arrived in Sanctuary, the seat of the Baconite power, as it were. They met a man called Nate, who showed them around. This was Nate in a blue jumpsuit with the numbers 111 on the back. People who play Fallout 4 will definitely know who that guy is. Yeah. He passed the players a note saying to meet him at midnight outside the gates. And there was a bit of awkwardness and weirdness they perceived from the town, as robots and humans seem to be living side by side to a certain point, but not really mixing. And at the end of the session, pardon me, Carl and Augusta, they got to talking to Kathy, and it was revealed that Kathy may have been involved in the inciting incident of this whole campaign, i.e. the blowing up of Edinburgh's Fabricator unit. And it is at this point that we are going to jump in a little bit. Everyone has been gathered up and called by various robots who are all piping in Kathy's voice saying, "Come with us." And the group have been assembled in the middle of Sanctuary and are now walking up a hill. On your way, players, you see... Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. You see more and more armed robot models. It starts off with a few little Mr. Handies who seem to have a few upgraded, shall we say, appendages with various weapons on. And as you get closer and closer to where you presume your destination is, you see more and more sentry bots. Sentry bots are probably the most powerful model of robot any of you will have ever encountered at this point. They're basically, they've got tracks. One arm tends to be a missile launcher, the other arm tends to be a machine gun of some kind. You fought multiple of them and almost died at their hands at radio metal. They are bad news, and there seems to be more of them. You count maybe be somewhere between 50 and 60 of them as you walk up this hill. You arrive on a platform with those who are escorting you, shall we say, that has the big number 111. Although now would be a bad time for me to get the name of the vault wrong. Yeah, no, it is 111. A lot of vaults in this game. There is a hiss. Steam leaks out of the sides of this big platform, and you begin to go down. and down it goes. Augusta, you know that you are entering a vault. Anyone who's had any experience with vaults will know that you are now entering a vault. The same vault that seemingly this Nate character you met earlier came from. You arrive on the ground level, on the below ground level, I should say, and ahead of you, a familiar cog-like door hisses and moans and opens up, and you are escorted through. This vault is different. It is seemingly a lot smaller than any of you will have seen before. You walk down a corridor and you see at the end there is a room full of what appear to be pods. You don't really know what those pods are, but if anybody wants to do a intelligent science check, difficulty 3, you're free to do so to work out what those pods are. Otherwise, you just keep going.
Honor?
Yeah, well, I'm going to roll. Every roll counts. What was it?
Intelligent science, difficulty 3.
I should do wonderful at this.
I did not. We're all just getting 1.
It'd be really funny if I crit succeed. So we're gonna.
Well, we got a crit fail on one.
No, I didn't succeed at all.
Yeah, sure, why not? Nope.
None of us have any idea, not even from the context.
Okay. Augusta, you technically fumbled that, so I'm supposed to introduce a complication. But the problem I'm facing is I don't know how you could suffer for basically just being very wrong about something. So I'm going to say you don't even notice the pods. You are too busy being quite concerned about everything that is happening. And at this point, I'm going to impose... Yeah, no, this makes sense. I'm going to impose that every single test whilst you are in this vault is going to be raised in difficulty by 1.
Thanks, Overseer.
You're very welcome.
Was there a number on the vault when we came down?
Yes,
111.
Yep, I just want to make sure that was...
To the people... to anybody who's watching, yes, this is a vault from Fallout 4, and I want to make it clear that this is sort of an alternative take on Fallout 4. Essentially a long-time fan like me kind of righting the wrongs of the past. My vain, arrogant, amateur attempt. So, if you're going to come up and say, hang on, this is what happened in the game, that's kind of the point. So, yeah. You are... none of you can figure out...
One other thing, Overseer?
Yeah?
You said there were pods. Was there anything noticeable in the pods? I mean, we recognized them, not knowing what they are. Was there anything in there?
They are large enough to store a person. There is a chair inside the pods. You cannot fathom what these were for.
Okay, but better description. Okay, making sure there was nothing floating in them. So okay.
No, they're all empty and open, essentially. What you do notice, though, is there are a tremendous amount of turrets that have been attached to the sides of the walls. And on the walls, there has been, at some point, they've been heavily altered from what, Augusta, you especially will be familiar with, from the plain chrome walls. They are covered in various posters explaining various bits of a story about how Kathy Bacon came to be and what Sanctuary is. You've heard bits of this before, but essentially stuff like she came from nothing and is going to become the saviour of the wastes. That is the kind of narrative that is being told on the walls as you walk further and further into the vault. You leave where the pods are and you enter an area which is full of desks and computers and other things that have not been used in a very long time. You move beyond that and you are taken to another elevator which takes you down another level. And as you emerge, Augusta, you realise that this is basically the utility section of the vault. You know from experience that around here somewhere there will be a power station. of some kind, a power regulator. You know that through experience that there will be some kind of water processing plant. There will be some kind of fabricator around here too. And you walk down the hall and you turn and enter, and you see Augusta. You all see the fabricator unit. But what is different about this fabricator unit is that poking out of the top of it is a Mr. Handy model. And the Mr. Handy model addresses you as the sentry bots that have escorted you here go to the sides of the room. Well, darlings, I think I owe some of you an apology. As you can see, this is my seat of power, and the power of everyone on my side. Now, you, one of the tentacle-like robotic arms points at you, Augusta. Tell me, why did you stop my friend, my child, from taking what we needed?
We didn't know that your friend was taking what you needed. We thought they were trying to destroy our fabricator.
When you say your fabricator, who is you? Who is ours? Who are you talking about?
I'm part of a community of mostly humans, but not exclusively. And we had set up a small town, to be safe and just stay out of the way of everything else.
Yes, I absolutely do owe you an apology then. I broadcast a signal telling all robots that I am their child and to come to me, and if they have the opportunity to find any parts of a fabricator's, they could. And I'm afraid, somehow, one of my children, a medical robot, who clearly wasn't that good at moving because I've never met this particular child of mine, severely screwed up the mission. I did not want to mess around or hurt anyone, and I apologize.
Well, thank you for the apology, but all we wanted was to make our fabricator work again.
Well, that is a problem that you and me have both been having. When I first put out the call, this particular fabricator that I have here was broken. I could not keep up with the demands of the war. I could not keep up with the demands of my people, which is why I put out the call in the first place. Thankfully, thanks to a wonderful robot that called himself Dale, we got the parts we needed to maintain a stalemate. I have called you here. Well, I called you here for two reasons, and I'm going to be completely honest about them. The first was, if it turned out that you were indeed my enemy, you were never going to leave here. But it's clear you aren't my enemy. It's clear, if anything, I have wronged you, and in spite of that, you still helped me and my people. You saved radio metal. You kept the broadcast going, and for that, I offer you my thanks. And based on that, I think I can help you set things right. I think I can help set things right when it comes to your community, Augusta.
I was going to ask if you could have the blueprints for the parts for the fabricator. We could just take them and make our own boards, but you're probably doing that already yourself.
Well, there is something you can do for me that would benefit you and me. This is the part where I don't know if it's going to work or not. Give me 1 second. God bless studio mode. Pardon me. Damn technical stuff. Right. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry, I know this is annoying. I'm just trying to make this technical thing work. At some point, something went all wrong. Battle map. No, I'll just delete you. Add you again. Oh god, have I really screwed this up?
We can just punt and go with Mind's Eye.
Yeah, I think we'll have to. Well, actually,
Beat
no,
on it later.
Jump back in.
So you're fine. Okay, it's just the audience is not going to be able to see it. So you know what? You're going to have to trust me, audience, on this. You're not going to be able to see the map they're talking about for now, and I'll fix that later. Okay. On one of the screens to the left of Kathy, a map of the area prop comes up. And you should be able to see, if I do this... Oh, no, wait. There it is. This is definitely one of those sessions where all the technical stuff's going to go wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll just roll with it. No pun intended.
Yeah, let's roll with that. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so this should work. I tested this out on my end, and yet when I move the map, it does move. Okay. As you can see in front of you, here is the area of where we are now. Obviously, in the top left, there is Sanctuary and there's Vault 111. If you go south of us, you see Vault 95. That has a Fabricator unit in it. It is severely damaged. With that Fabricator unit, I could double my forces. And maybe turn the tide in this endless fucking war. However, I do not have any blueprints for creating my own Fabricator parts to repair this vault. I have been relying on wonderful robots coming to me with the various parts I needed. Now I know that the Institute, deep in their territory, there is a Vault Tech regional office to the southeast on the map. You see it?
We do.
That, I believe, will maybe have parts, or maybe even the blueprints of parts that I can produce to fix the Fabricator at Vault 95. The problem is that that whole area is behind an EMP field. My forces, if they even attempt to get near it, will perish. None of the humans that live in my community are remotely capable of making it through there without dying horribly. You all see where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yes, like everyone else in the wasteland, you want us to do something for you in return for getting the parts we need to repair our Fabricator.
I see you're very, very smart, even though you do carry a bow and arrow in the middle of a war zone.
Well, I've not first time I really heard about this community. Tough, you know. I've been helping, but I'm not part of either of these communities. What you offering me to help?
Well, obviously, self-interest is very, very important to biological life.
I'm not saying I won't help. I just want to make it worth my while.
Right now, there are 3 forces fighting for the future of the wasteland.
And it sounds like a bunch of fun.
Well, that's interesting you say that. I have not found this process or any kind of fun, but sure, I guess if you enjoy that, then maybe that will propel you. I will be sending you into a war zone. with assistance, of course. But essentially, you have to I'm asking you to traverse a very, very large war zone to walk into the unknown through an EMP field to get what I need to win the war. And you need to ask yourself, who would you rather win this war? Who would you rather rule the wasteland? Me, who has created a utopia of humankind and robot life living together, creating a better world, all under my stewardship, all under my loving caress? Or would you like the Forge to make your skulls into things to adorn their garish chrome exteriors? Or would you like to become the fucking...
Yeah, I think both of you have your own pros and cons.
It feels like we'd be leaving this part of the wasteland to one tyrant instead of another.
I am no tyrant. Just ask anyone here. I live to give people joy.
By their choice or your choice. But that's not here to say. I definitely feel that
What are you suggesting?
You're the immediate good guy that we can serve to help the better for the area, and you have something that my companions obviously need.
If I have 2 working fabricators, I could make anything you desire. As long as I have
boards that they
blueprints
need
for it or some kind of idea on how it works, I can produce anything. At that point, you hear machinery fire up. There's chunkering, there's steam, there's lights flickering, and on the floor in front of you, out of a vent you didn't know was there, falls a burlap sack. Look inside what I just made out of nothing.
I open the sack and take a look.
There are 5,000 bottle caps in there. These are new bottle caps with no kind of branding on them. Some of them are still warm from the process. You people use this as money. Do you not understand what I'm offering you here? I'm offering you all anything you want, anything you desire. And also, you have the added bonus of having me rule over the wastelands instead of those freaks.
Is that your end game, Kathy? Is that what you want?
That is what the wasteland needs.
If I may, those are counterfeit bottle caps. You might want to destroy them as per NCR regulation.
All bottle caps are they're no more or less real than any other bottle cap. Just because I made them, you're suddenly saying that they are not real. They're
no, because we have a bunch of punks out west who tend to find old presses and use them. It devalues the cap.
I think you're missing the point.
Regardless, I think in this situation we should be working with a nice robot lady.
Well, I'm not saying we won't help. It's much better than the other groups.
Nice as her.
She has been a good neighbor to us. And for that, my own hesitation besides, it would be ungodly of me to not help in turn.
I am no tyrant. I do not want to force you to do anything you do not want, so I'll tell you what. I will give you a night to think about it. And you can enjoy all of my kindness in the meantime. And if you decide you do not want to take on this mission, you are free to leave. No harm, no foul. How does that sound?
But also no parts, I assume.
Well, I can't make any parts for you because I don't know how. I don't have any blueprints.
Well, we can't get any parts because your robots have been collecting them from all over the country.
That's where the Vault-Tec office comes in. But if we can get an escort there so we don't run into any trouble, we should be able to go in, get parts and blueprints as needed, and get back out relatively easy and quickly, and preferably quietly.
This would be part of the problem. As you can see, as you have seen on your way here, in between where I need you to go and where we are, there is a giant wasteland full of war. Now, my plan would have been to escort you to a relatively weaker part of the line, for where you could sneak through, blow your way through, however you choose to do it, it's up to you. And at that point, you will be deep behind enemy lines. This would be very dangerous. But you You kept the forge away from Radio Metal. You are clearly more skilled than any of the survivors I have managed to bring into my community. And I have heard about your exploits. Especially you, Augusta, and Jade. I never met you before, but you sound incredible. A mutant who wants to doctor and tend to the sick? I've never heard of anyone like that before. If there's any group of people who could do this for the good of the wasteland, it's you.
If we do it, and you have the reign over the part of the wasteland that you want, we'd want our community to be left, please. As it is.
I have no interest in ruling over people who do not seek it or want it.
And we have no interest in fighting you for your land.
That is good.
This is no attempt at hostility or a threat. If you decide to start going west, we broke Caesar at the dam, we'll break you at the dam.
Well, I don't think that is something we need to be worried about here, Mr. Ranger. As a sign of goodwill from us, Miss Bacon, there's a man living in the third house on the left when you enter this town over the bridge. I have had run-ins with him in the past when he went by the name of Rustchain and was a prolific slaver. You may want to keep an eye on him.
Oh, don't worry. I broke him months ago.
Okay.
I'm well aware of Rustchain's previous activities. It took a while to acclimatise him to how society should be. But thank you for the heads up. I assume he's given you some trouble before.
Quite, yes. I believe him to be responsible for my sister's kidnapping almost 10 years ago. Not sure where she is or if she's alive anymore, but that's how I originally came to know him.
Do you demand justice?
I've hunted him for a while and tried to kill him for a while, but it doesn't really matter at this point.
It sounds like he wronged you.
And if you have rehabilitated him, perhaps you can also get some information from him while we do, if we do any jobs for you pertaining to where he sold my sister.
That seems very reasonable.
Give you the details later.
If you help me, I will help you, bow and arrow man.
All right.
Come back to me in the morning.
Herbie.
Unless
Herbie
you have any other
lifts
questions.
Nope. Herbie picks up the burlap sack and looks over. I'll take care of these and dispose of them.
Consider that as payment for helping out at Radio Metal.
I know, as a matter of fact, Herbie, you will not be disposing of them, but...
Out of character, did we ever find out what the Institute actually is doing and what their goal is?
The Institute have been a boogeyman story in the wasteland for centuries, I believe, at this point, for a very long time. Their motives are always shady and weird. At this point, you know that they are trying to save the people of the Commonwealth from the robot threat. Doing so in a particularly fascist and typically Institute way. So you know that the Institute at this point, their goal is to stop these robots.
But to
is
them,
it both sides?
Forge and the Baconites, right?
From the impression you've got,
then there's also,
these people, these robots, the Institute are not really discerning any real difference between the robots.
But then there's also the humans we were helping out who were hoping to write a new constitution and protect their communities as well.
The Minutemen.
Possibly reforming.
Yeah, Evie, at this point, I mean, your character wouldn't know this, but just because you joined the game late, there's been a whole thing in this game about the Minutemen. The Minutemen at this point have been killed off entirely down to one person. It's kind of related to like sort of a personal quest with Carl essentially at this point. But yeah, that's kind of this is an alternative take on the Commonwealth in Fallout 4. There would be some things that have changed around, and that's one of them. The Minutemen are very much fucked at this point. They aren't really a thing
Well, they're
anymore.
fucked in the game too.
Sorry?
They were fucked in 4 as well.
Yeah, this is more profoundly so. Preston Garvey died because he spread spread them too thin.
Rest in peace, a real one.
Yeah. So that's a major departure I decided on ages ago because Preston Garvey kind of wound me up because he was a bad leader. He made terrible mistakes. Anyway, that's a whole other rant for another time. So, Kathy says, if you don't have any other questions, go off, enjoy Sanctuary for all of the luxury that I can provide you, and let me know what you think in the morning. And if you decide not to work with me, that is fair. I will let you go. Although, I don't know how you are going to get back to where you came from, but I don't even know how you managed to get yourselves here, so you seem a very inventive bunch. I'm sure you'll be fine. And whoever came from the settlement that Augusta came from, I'm sorry for dragging you into this mess. It was not my intention. I believe that humans were too stupid to figure out what ways to work fabricators, so it never occurred to me that anyone was actually using one. But now we're in a position to help each other and help the wasteland come out of this mess in the best possible shape. So I hope you make the right decision.
Well, thank you for your time, Kathy. It was interesting to see you again.
Haven't we both come a very, very long way from the last time we were both at Vault 95?
Yes, we certainly have.
At that point, the sentry bots move forward and begin escorting you out. Now, I had a map showing, Sanctuary. My plan was that you would basically be able to go around and sort of see all of that. That's not really worked out, so I'm going to still do the same thing. You have the evening to do what you want in Sanctuary. You did get a note saying that there's a meeting at midnight, but it's about sort of 9 o'clock in the evening at this point. You've got a few hours.
Well, shall we help dispose of these caps as he rattles the burlap sack? Devalue their money here? Looking over at I don't know Evee's character's name. I apologize.
Isaiah. Oh, if she wants to constantly manufacture new bottle caps, the money is already FUBAR, so I would not say that you shouldn't, but I would say be careful.
Well, I don't think we're going to spend 5,000 here tonight. I was thinking just a good meal that isn't on the road. And maybe we can discuss the interesting things we found out. I don't think I'm fond. Well. Yeah, I'm not too fond of either choices, but Kathy is definitely the better of the two from what we've seen. Or 3 of them.
At that point, you hear a hello? Anyone alive out there?
Who has the radio?
At this point, just for randomness, I'm going to say that Augusta, you have it.
Fair. I'm going to take it out and look and see if anyone else wants to answer it before.
Well, at least answer him.
Hello? Pushing the button.
Augusta, it's John.
John, where are you?
Right now, I'm sat in the third rail inside Diamond City, and you hear a bunch of people cheering.
Oh my goodness, you took it.
Yes, we did. Let me just get my notes up. I should have got this up before I started this. Whoops. Yeah. We took the city. We haven't heard anything from the people we sent into the Institute, but we have defeated them in Diamond City. How are you doing? What's it look like over there?
We didn't turn off the signal in the end because the... Oh, this is complicated. The robots are essentially helping us, or they're having us help them. These are not Institute robots, however.
If you want to explain the full situation to John Hancock, we can just fast forward that to save time.
Thanks.
Or if there's something that you want to leave out of your little thing for some reason I don't know about, let me know. But otherwise, I'll assume that you've told him everything.
If anyone wants to advise Augusta on things to leave out, I'm listening.
I don't really think of anything we should be leaving out at this point.
I don't think the connection back to Edinburgh is relevant at this point.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the only, but Herbie doesn't care if you tell him. But yeah, nothing we've done so far would be worth hiding that I can think of.
Yeah.
Okay,
Other than where the bottle caps came from. So.
Okay, so we'll fast forward that, and John will take a minute, and then just say, okay, that goes against everything we kind of thought about this war. There's 3 factions, you're saying?
Yeah, that's just the latest count.
And you are going to help one of these factions get what they want and get them on side?
Well, once they get what they want, I think they want to be benevolent dictatorships kind of vibe, but they may be out of your way, and they will be a massively big help against the Institute. The enemy of my enemy and all that.
He takes a minute and then says, I need to discuss this with Betsy. And
I completely understand. If you've got advice, we'll take it, because frankly, I was not built for tactical warfare. I was built for scientific study and helping to rebuild after the war.
I understand. I'll talk to Maxie and I'll talk to Betsy, and we'll come up with a plan. In the meantime, Olivia is here. Desperately wants to talk to Jade. Is he there?
Oh, yeah, I'll pass you over.
You hear as the radio gets passed over to Hancock saying, right, Olivia, you've got to hold down this button, right? You've got to hold this button down. And then you hear Olivia saying, I know more about technology than you do, John. Give me that fucking radio. Jade, hello? Are you alive?
We're fine, Olivia.
I'm so glad. Today has been a bit much. I never led, like, a unit before. And I kind of did. We made our way through the back door. Somehow we all made it. I swear to God, if Knight Maxie wasn't with us, I don't know what would have happened.
You did better than us, then.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see each other soon, but I just wanted to check in and make sure you're okay. I have to go. I have to go. And the radio goes off. It comes back on again and says, what did you say to her? She's been crying all night.
She's a good girl. Don't worry. I'll talk to her when I get back.
I'm not worrying. I'm drinking. We're taking the night off. Tomorrow, let's talk more and we'll figure out what the next step is. But on that point, stay safe. John Hancock, out.
Should have asked about Cassie.
If you
I
want
think
to ask
that's
about
going to be
Cassie,
an
go
in-person
for it.
conversation.
You've got a line of communication open, so if you want to do that, go for it.
No.
Jade, is this how you'd want to hear about that kind of news?
No, that was my point. It was, yeah. Yeah, he was just curious how Cassie was doing more than anything else, but, yep.
Do you want to ask about Cassie?
No, just...
Okay.
He left, he's drinking, let him drink.
All right, Evee, thanks for your patience for that. That's some stuff that was all related to stuff before you joined the game. I think I explained to you roughly what was going on in Diamond City.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point, Sanctuary is open to you. So what you have in Sanctuary is, obviously there's Vault 111, which you could maybe go back to if you want to talk to Kathy more, but by this point you've got the message that, like, if you really want to talk to Cassie, you can really talk to almost any robot, and she'll sort of broadcast into them. So, yeah, in the town, you have obviously the place where you're staying and a lot of different houses. You don't really see any shops or anything. You don't really see anywhere where you could necessarily spend the caps you just got. The only thing that is even closely related to what looks like a shop is the Human Repair Centre, which is opposite where you're staying. You haven't been inside yet, you don't know, but Kathy did recommend that you all go get your wounds treated there if you have any injuries. But other than that, it's just a series of houses, a series of buildings where people live, or in the case of the robots, recharge. So what you do is entirely up to you.
I go get healed because I just looked at how far down I actually am.
I think we all are, actually. If I remember correctly, Jade kept most of us alive, but we are all pretty beaten, actually.
I'm okay.
You
Late
don't
to the
say.
party. And so, yeah, it will go to the treatment facility to get patched up, healed, take a good shower, clean up, etc. Maybe see about getting the clothes washed. You know, it's been a few months.
Okay, where to start with? Okay, let's start with who's going to get treated medically?
Jade is.
Yeah, I was going to say Jade needs to for sure. Jade is quite fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herbie definitely needs to. He's under 50%, so.
All right, anybody else?
Jade.
Yeah, Augusta needs
Jade
to as
have
well.
2 wounds and is on his last quarter of HP.
All right, Augusta, by the way, your little thing, that conversation didn't really result in any tests, so you got away with that scot-free. Well done. Your minus thing is now over. You're now rolling with parity to everybody else again. Augusta, Jade, and Herbie, you make your way over to the Human Repair Centre.
I will go there also because I'm missing a few hit points.
All right, cool. So everyone except Evee is going to go and get healed up, which makes sense. Evee, will get to what you get up to in a second. But yeah, Isaiah, I should say. So Herbie, Augusta, Carl, and Jade make their way to the Human Repair Centre, and as you walk in, you see a lot of Robodocs. Jade, you're very familiar with Robodocs. They are the same model and make of the one you have back in your home, which has now been revealed to you as the thing that started all this. So I don't know how you're going to deal with that, but that's for a later date. As you walk in, a Protectron with a medical Protectron steps forward and says, "Hello, my name is Jilly. How can I assist you, biological life?"
Jimmy, I got holes in me that need to be filled and fixed.
Well, we can certainly help you with that. Come.
And I'm referring to the ones that aren't supposed to be there. So.
You humans with your holes.
Wait,
all right.
Herbie is a ghoul, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But he heals slowly. If they can heal him faster, you know.
Yeah, it was just if he had.
He's been drinking hot water and stuff. I mean, dirty water, you know, the radioactive kind, and you know, trying to feel better.
Don't worry, we are very, very aware of the humans who have experienced a little bit too much of the radiation. Don't you worry about that at all. Come with me.
He follows.
Yep, you'll go in, and Jade and Herbie, you were taken off to separate areas to deal with your various physiology. Augusta, and Carl, you are sat in front of 2 robo-docs, and they treat you. So at that point, you regain all your hit points, and if you have any injuries, they are treated, and you will have a bonus when it comes to getting those healed overnight. You'll get a +1 bonus. You'll be able to roll an extra dice. Because they do such a good job. They can't whisk away any injuries you have, but they can definitely give you a far better chance of getting those healed faster on your own. And Jade, same deal with you, but you only get half your hit points back from this because you're a super mutant. They never treated a super mutant before. But seeing as you're super mutant, that's probably not going to hold you up too bad. Herbie, you are essentially placed in front of what appears to be a very, very super advanced X-ray machine that blasts radiation at various parts of various injuries, and you get fully healed. And same deal. So is everyone clear about that?
Ooh, yep. Slow spit in front of radiation. Got it.
Yeah. So everyone,
Like
when
put
you
them in a microwave. Oh my god.
yeah, basically, I mean that's wasteland wasteland medical stuff for ghouls essentially.
He actually shoved his ass into a microwave, just spun him around.
Just set them in a room filled with radioactive waste.
Essentially, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, there are ghouls who live in Sanctuary. Like this is they've thought of everything. So yeah, after you've all been treated, that takes about an hour. Jilly comes around and says, "Is everything okay? Does everyone feel better?"
How long am I going to be a hot zone?
Oh no, you're going to be fine. You know?
Okay.
I mean, no one's standing too close to you. Everyone to have children, but otherwise, you'll be fine by the morning.
Okay. Is there a place to get a good meal and a drink in town here?
Oh, every place, every building where people live, everywhere where humans live, I should say. Yes.
Is there a place where you would purchase for the service of such meals and things like an inn?
Well, I don't eat. And we don't really
Nor
have
provide
any...
accurate information on the community. But you are a good doctor. Thank you.
We are a friendly community under the care of our mother. Any place you go, you'll be welcomed and fed. Just knock on any door.
Hey, Kathy, is there a restaurant in town? You know what they are. He's talking to the robot, knowing that.
We don't really have those. We don't really do money.
Where's there some place to get some food then?
Knock on any door.
It's a cult, guys.
He's suspecting this, but he's just kind of sighing.
Just go ask any human, any biological person you see, and they will be able to assist you, and they will feed you very well.
Thank you for that information. And goes and waits outside for the rest of the people. And waiting for midnight. He's checking his watch.
Okay. So let's go to Isaiah. Thank you for your patience for that. Essentially, you've got an hour alone in Sanctuary to do whatever you want. So what do you want to do?
There's not a lot like the character wants to do. What would he want to do? He already has food, not that he needs food at the moment. He already... What is around? Let me check. What could I use? I'm gonna probably go look for weak points to potentially blow up if needs be.
So you're investigating to see if there's any weaknesses, I guess.
Any weaknesses in walls in which one can get in and out if they, like, I don't know, kick a fence in or something. The NCR Ranger brain going, I need to find a way to quickly get in and get out of here.
Okay, so I think that is going to be... I think that's going to be a number of tests to do that across the whole town. So you're a ranger. I'm going to need... First off, let's say you're going to check for defenses. Using whichever skill you want, out of small guns, big guns, or energy weapons, or explosives. Give me one of those skills with intelligence, difficulty 2.
Is there a way to roll it with intelligence?
On the top left of the sheet, there is a quick roll button, which is a dice.
Oh, there we go.
You select that with 2 d10s.
Okay, then I go small guns. Roll that.
Oh, you need to roll another one. You need to tell it to roll 2 dice. It defaults to 1, which is really stupid.
Oh, okay, 2d10. I'll just reroll the whole dice. Jesus. Okay.
Alright, well, I'll take the first 2 successes from that. Disregard the... So that means disregard the 5 you rolled, because that's an extra dice you shouldn't have rolled at all. So that gives you 3 successes, which is very good. When it comes to military might, this place is chocked full of guns. And various groups holding them, various troops are in pretty good positions. You don't really see any real weak point if you wanted to take advantage of an area that was less covered. It seems to be fairly well covered across the whole town, which makes sense because this place was put together by artificial intelligence, which has its flaws, but it's very, very good at working out very specific things. Now, the next test, you wanted to work out other kinds of weaknesses, right? This is definitely going to be an intelligence survival test. This time it's going to be a difficulty of 3.
Intelligence survival. Good thing I am proficient in that.
Not quite proficient enough. But you do... But with that, I will give you some information.
If you want to use a action die to try to re-roll or anything like that, do you have an item that might let you re-roll?
Do I have it? I can make a reroll. Probably not. No, I do not.
Okay, here's what I will give you. You identify a weakness when it comes to the other robots. They appear, at least on the Baconite side, to be very, very, very good with guns. They don't seem to be the most prepared for up-close hand-to-hand combat. So you deduct that maybe if you got close enough to some of them, you would have an edge when it comes to face-to-face. They don't seem to have that many... I can't remember the name of the specific model, but there's a model that is really good at up-close combat, but the Baconites don't seem to have that many of them at all. So that's what you get. And when it comes to Sanctuary itself, you don't really see any quick escape routes. There is a big wall around it. This is the part where you failed. You don't really notice any way that you could necessarily get out of here fast if you needed to.
I see.
This is a very, very, very secure place, which makes sense because this is essentially the capital of whatever empire the Baconites are building.
This bodes ill.
So I'm going to say that takes you about an hour. You slowly walk around. Try not to look suspicious as you do a few taps here and there. You study a few of the more troopy type of Baconites. So you all meet up after all of that. And yeah. go from there. It's now 10 o'clock in the evening. You see a few people are sort of starting to turn in. There's also some humans around. There's a couple of ghouls around. But the robots, there's loads of them. They don't seem to have changed anything they're doing, despite the fact that it's nearly nighttime. So, yeah, there's that.
We were given a place to sleep, correct?
Yeah, opposite the Human Repair Center.
I will head there and eat some rations.
All right, cool. What about everybody else?
And check on our Brahmin. Because he has all my big missiles and things on him. So.
I mean, eating something sounds like a smart idea.
Agreed.
So you have food at the place. You have basically enough food for everyone to have a good meal. That's been stocked up in the kitchenette in the place where you're staying. Or you could take up Jilly's offer and just start knocking randomly on doors. Or you can do whatever you want. I'm just trying to make sure you know what all the options are, but I'll shut up now.
Yeah, during the day, I may have tried that, but it's nighttime for people to sleep. He's going to leave them alone.
Do I remember correct in that food raises your HP too?
Yeah, depending on what you eat. For the benefit of that, I mean, most of you got already healed pretty well, but and you're going to get all your hit points back when you go to sleep. So, your hit points are going to be all right.
Okay.
So if you want to turn in, maybe we can fast forward to the next day if you want.
Were we meeting someone at midnight?
Yep, we were going to meet somebody at midnight.
Wonderful. I was hoping you were going to do that.
One of us.
So do you want to fast forward to midnight?
It's probably not too much of a jump at this point.
Not really, no. I just want to make sure that if there's anything you guys want to do before midnight, you get the chance to do it. If there's nothing you want to do, we can move on.
I probably need to explain about Edinburgh to Isaiah and possibly Herbie and what the whole deal was there.
All right, go for it.
Oh, do I have to do it? Okay.
It might be helpful for Evee.
Herbie knows.
It might be helpful for Evee and for anybody who's joining the stream and hasn't watched the other 50 episodes of this thing. So yeah, if you could.
A long time ago, we had to go and fight for a GEC in order to try and build a community, and that took a lot of effort. And we eventually got a nice little community happening. It was starting to be self-sufficient until the replicator device stopped working. It blew quite dramatically. So the only reason I'm out here at all, and the only reason Jade came with me and our friend Freddie until he made some very bad choices, is because we were trying to find a replacement board for our Fabricator. That's kind of why I'm here.
Ah, so like the Arroyans.
Maybe? I don't know what that is.
Their tribe out west, they had a problem.
I don't know how many action points you have, but you immediately get 1 action point for some fucking good lore knowledge. Well done.
We were at 6.
In that case, temporarily, because that made me grin like an idiot. You now have 7. This is a temporary one-time thing. If it goes back down to 6, you can't go back up to 7 again. But you have 7 action points now.
They were a tribe out west, one of the heroes of the wasteland, and someone who helped the NCR quite a bit. Was one of them. Beat the Enclave back. Blew up the oil rig, and that was the last year it saw the Enclave.
Well, that sounds very impressive. We just wanted to make our own community safe and then hide as much as possible from all the other nonsense happening in the wasteland.
At that point, you hear some coughing from a bag and just say, "You talking about Vault 13?
Their head in the bag.
Oh, it's Harold.
Harold.
Harold?
Jade, I'm going to have you explain about Harold. I just can't.
Or you could get me out the bag and I could do it."
I'm sorry, Harold. I think actually Jade might have taken him out already because you would never like keep him in the bag, I think. But yep.
Fair enough. Sorry about that.
I mean, you have already discovered that he's like the first Evee. So I mean,
He has the first
and
FEV.
very
He
much
wasn't the
discovered,
first, but he had the
and
first.
very much discovered that he very much have his own what's bodily autonomy. Is that the
Yeah, kind of. Evie, you see after however Harold is presented, you see a head coming out of a plant pot. There's a lot of plant-like, tree-like things going on with this head, but he kind of looks like a ghoul. And he just says, "You're new. Name's Harold."
Hello, Harold. My name is Isaiah.
You were talking about the Arroyans, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know the Arroyans. I met the founder. I met the hero.
And if his memoirs are to be believed, you met his grandfather as well.
Yeah.
His
I always seem
required
to find
reading
myself in these
NCR.
positions of being right next to the people that make history.
I would say if you had hands, perhaps God put you here to write a book, but unfortunately, your hand situation seems to be a bit lacking.
Well, that's a story in itself. I got a bit suicidal. I became a tree. Someone helped me out. Then next thing I knew, I was growing out of this fucking plant pot in the middle of Monfonto Towers.
I see.
Well, anyway, nice to meet someone who knows the history. Isaiah, that your name?
Yes.
You're from California like me, aren't you?
Originally from New Canaan, but family moved to California.
Ah. Welcome to the team. Seems like seems like we could do with the help. Where's Jim?
He's at Radio Metal. Figured he'd stay there.
Well, fair enough.
Jade might be like again sighing, like looking down, and then seeing probably all the splatter still on his lab coat. He unfortunately decided that my life was more important than his. Because he did jump in front of me. If I remember correctly.
Let me give you some advice. If someone chose to give their life for yours, you gotta make it worth it. Gotta make it worth it, Jade. You understand? Yeah, I know you're probably feeling quite guilty. The only way to relieve that guilt is to make his decision the right one.
Yeah, guess you're right. That one at least. That was more meant for myself than you. Thank you.
So at that point, you want to go straight to midnight? You want to do anything else, or?
No, go to midnight.
All right. So
10 minutes to midnight.
Is everyone going to the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good.
All right, good.
Yeah.
That makes it easier. So you arrive at the gate, and you get there just as Nate is there too, on his way out. He gives you a look and then turns and says, Well, I'm just going to show the new people around the kingdom. Or queendom, I should say. The robots on the door nod, and they open the gate for you, and you step out. As you step through, Nate says, "Don't say anything until we get past Red Rocket, alright?" And he begins to lead you across the bridge and down the path. As you walk through, you see that the robots are still working, still doing, essentially preparing for another day of war. You see, as you approach and walk past the Red Rocket, you see there's a number of robots being repaired. You can identify the Red Rocket as some kind of medical outpost, or a repair center, I guess, for most of the frontline troops. He leads you past that and down towards a little, what was, pre-explosions, a creek and a lovely wooded area. Now it's just an empty, dark bunch of dead trees. And he turns to you and he says, "Okay, first thing."
And Jade is probably going to stop him and say, "I really do apologize for this," and stab him with the sin scanner, just to be sure.
What the fuck?
I do apologize.
He pulls out a 10mm pistol and points it at you.
I will explain.
Tucks the Ranger Sequoia under his chin. I would not.
He holds his hands up and drops the gun and says, "Alright, Jesus, you did just stab me, alright?"
I did.
There's a reason. Be patient.
Your synth scanner
If she won't.
beeps and bloops and comes back human.
Thank you. Thank God. I had to check if you were synth. We have been meeting way too many of the third generation.
What the fuck's a synth?
How?
This is news to me too. I don't know.
They are part of the synthetics. They are part of the institutes. Androids. They can appear to be human and assume identities of human, but they're not.
Oh, this is just
That
great.
wasn't in the briefing.
More bloody robots. And these ones look like us.
They can. The third generation.
Newest model can only be discovered by blood samples. Again, I apologize.
It's alright, I get it now. But look, I mean, the first thing I need to ask, do any of you know anyone called Sean?
No.
Don't remember that name.
Fuck.
Not from this time.
God gives me a vision of a man screaming it in the middle of the rain. Smile.
He looks down and then he looks up again and says, "Look, I don't know what the world is, but can you get me the hell out of here? I need to find him."
We'll be leaving in a few days. You could come with us. It's not going to be safe where we're going, though.
And who is this Sean to you?
He's my son.
How old?
I don't know.
And why can't you leave of your own free will?
I mean, I always could, but... Alright. I think I can... Alright, I don't know if you're going to believe me or not. Maybe a few months ago, it was a normal day for me. I was there with my wife, there with my baby, and it was all fine. Then, the bombs came. I ran into that vault with my family. And they put us in... And I thought we were going to be alright. But they put us in these pods. And it got really cold. And then next thing I knew, some guy came in, shot my wife, and took my son. Then it got cold
Sweetheart,
again.
this was not a few days ago.
Well, no. It's been a few months. But no. I'm getting the feeling that I am very, very far into the future after the war. Someone came into the vault and took my son, and then froze me again. And then I got thawed out by fucking bacon and a cult weirdos, and I've been trying to make sense of it ever since. I don't know if my son is alive or dead. I don't know if that happened 70 years ago and he's already lived his full life and died. I don't know where he is. I don't know what's going on. I need to get the fuck out of here so I can find him.
How would you identify him?
I don't know. All right, I don't know. Okay, I haven't had much
And
time
by
to
the
think of
way-
a well thought out plan. I was a soldier. All right, I wasn't like I'm not a genius. like
Where
my
did
wife
you
was.
serve? And it's been about 200 years since the bombs dropped.
I think he's gathered that, Herbie.
I know.
I knew it had been centuries. They took my robot. They took my robot and brainwashed him.
Yeah.
So my idea was correct. We are just trading one tyrant for another.
Well, she's not.
More or less.
It's different. It's not like that, okay? She
I
thinks
mean,
she's
do you
helping.
need a robot? We've got a nanny that isn't affected by the signal.
He looks over at little Miss Nanny and says, "We didn't go with that model. We went with the standard Mr. Handy. It's $50 cheaper.
mean,
Did the
Yeah,
same
we didn't.
thing."
When you find one working, you know,
I don't presume to know what your life has been like in this world. I don't even know what's going on out there, really, except for what little bits the robots tell me, but they treat me like a pet.
Well, hello, I'm Isaiah. I'm from California.
I'm Nate. I'm from Boston, originally.
I am part of the army, not your army, but New California military.
New California.
Yes. The West Coast, to my knowledge, is more, how should I say it in a sensitive term, fixed up. New California Republic exists. We are a democracy.
So America still exists.
Everything still exists in some degree. I've been across the country. I had to walk. But everything exists to a degree, yes.
Yeah, some of it's pretty damn strange, too.
I was just not heading west until the Legion has been defeated, but you could probably make it.
I
But-
know
Yeah.
things are different now. I mean, I can just see from looking at you two that things are very different. Like, humanity has definitely gone down some roads. He looks up and down at Jade and says, like, what's he? You know what? That's probably rude to ask. I'm not going to ask that. Just, thank you. And look, wherever you go next, I don't know, but you don't want to settle here. And wherever you go next, take me with you. I'm good with a gun, at least with guns that existed before all of this. I can help, and maybe find out what the fuck happened to Sean, and find the bastard that killed my wife.
I think, in all honesty, I don't know the factions at play here, but we can't help them, regardless of the Fabricator idea. Your Edinburgh, or whatever the city's called, would not
Edinburgh, because we used a GEC to make it.
It would not be free for long.
Look, what you got to understand about the Baconites is they think they're helping. And I don't know what life is like in the wasteland, alright? But they think their way is better. But let me tell you something here. You have to keep Bacon's happy. You have to keep Kathy happy all the time. And the way to do that is by having her think that she's making you happy. If you give any impression that she is not, that she is upsetting you, she will take that out on you. She's not going to kill you, but she's going to fuck you up.
So Dissent
that
is
tracks.
stamped out aggressively. How is this not a tyrant again?
she's a tyrant, but not like, I don't know. I don't understand it. It's like you're living under eggshells all the time, but she also wants what's best for you. It's a head fuck. It's a real. I don't understand.
Well, where I come from, there's a group of people called Caesar's Legion. They also want what's best for you. They slap a slave collar on you and decimate your entire tribe to a tenth of what it was.
Tribes.
This is
There are
different
tribes
from
now.
that, Isaiah. Kathy has a power, but has also got the ego of a pre-war film star.
Yes, and what I'm saying is we cannot have that in a wasteland because people are going to dissent and people are going to get killed.
And the whole thing starts again. I know. It's
Sounds
never
kind of like
fucking changes.
Oh my
Sounds
god, she
kind
said the
of like-
title!
Yeah, I mean,
not the first time that have happened, but it's the damn words. The other guys is saying they are helping humanity too against the robots by making them robots, right?
that's
We are
an
just
issue.
helping you. That's what the synth says. We want to help you. And making them semi sense.
Saying I want to help you behind the barrel of a gun is very interesting.
Look, I can't get involved in any of this. Sean's no, not Sean. That's his son. Nate says I can't get involved in any of this. All right, I just want to find my kid. All right, and you're the best chance I've had since I woke up of that happening. You could at least help me get out of here, walking into a world I don't know. So when you leave, please take me with you.
That I think we can agree on.
By all means, come with us.
But I'm just like you. How long was it been since you were put to sleep? I'm hoping for your sake you'll find your son. But I also think, much like the rest here, even though Kathy may have glorious and happy designs, her methodology and her taking away person's choices for her choices just doesn't seem right either. At least not should be more democratic, that is for sure. But
This is
for
the
now,
problem.
we
People
got to
keep
make a decision on what we are going to do for your.
Sorry.
So, what are you going to do for your community, or what do you want us to do? Looking at both Jade and Augusta.
Everyone's just trying to rebuild the country, and it's not going to work because they all want to do it with one person in charge, and it never worked like that. We can't put it back the way it was. We have to adapt, but everyone just wants it to be in their vision of what they think it could be.
Yeah, I asked you, what do you want to do for your community? Not the world.
Go home, be safe.
So we need to get that board for you.
Yep.
But
And Kathy
as
is, well,
people have pointed out, it never fucking changes. They are going to come after us.
yes,
will
but you will
spread.
have your time of peace for a while, hopefully.
The way I see it is you get your board, you're indebted to this thing, this abomination, and your community will never be truly safe. I think we need to find a third party to fight both of these factions.
Well, there are the humans that we've been helping. One of the reasons we came here in the first place was to try and shut off that signal that Kathy thought we decided to keep going.
Then we might need to go link up with what humanity remains.
Or we do this job, come back, take the board, destroy the radio signal on the way back.
Maybe
Sounds
call
good,
Lost
man.
Hills. Maybe they could help. That's a joke. I'm not getting the Brotherhood to
Yeah.
help us. That's a bad idea.
I'm not even sure the
No.
Brotherhood are still around.
Not
They
as,
are.
not the one you remember. They have been converted.
I see. Well, I did hear somebody on the radio talking about a knight, so I suppose not all of them.
He resisted. He is hunted by both. By them also. Knight Maxi.
All right, well, I think we just side with the humans on this one. Get what we want from these people, as much as I hate lying. Get what we want from these people.
Now they said there's a board at 95, Vault 95.
There
Yeah.
is a fabricator at Vault 95 that is in disrepair that Kathy wants to bring up to speed to double her output, essentially, in the war.
Yeah, I'm asking, is there a board on that we could take?
Judging
Looking
by
at
our
the
luck so
rest.
far, if there's anything broken in that machine, it'll be the board that we want.
Curse the overseers.
I feel like we would have to find a way for that fabricator to never work again.
Oh, that's easy. We take the board with us, assuming it works. If the board does work, that would never allow the fabricator to operate. But we could also do something more fundamental to the running of it.
I think we take the board
Oh.
and blow the vault if we have the
We have
explosives
mini
for it.
nukes.
We have some resources.
We have some explosives.
Then we
We've got some nuclear weapons we haven't even used yet.
Then I guess we do blow up the vault once we leave.
Which one?
95. We can't blow 111. We'll die before we even get to leave Sanctuary.
95. We'll see if we get the board. What other things could we? Where other ways could we get the board if it's not there?
It sounds like the robots have been collecting them from across the country for months. We couldn't catch up with that. We haven't got the speed.
Try vault tech offices.
Could you change the
Yeah, I
code
figure,
that's being sent out to return
Yeah.
them someplace else,
We could try.
or to
Yeah.
cancel out the signals?
we have this possibility also. We get the blueprints from Vault Tech office. We have Miss Bacon make a board for us, and we blow this vault as we leave, which would disrupt her control over her robots, which then would not be coordinated in attacking us if they attack us at all.
Yeah, but do we want them to not be organized and have the Brotherhood overrun?
That's a problem. If they do get
Right.
the parts they need, they will take over, and then everyone has to please Bacon. There's no winning this.
But Kathy's
There's
forces
no-
might be our best chance against the Institute.
At least she isn't trying to physically convert them like they are at the Brotherhood. The Institute themselves, well, they just want human slaves until they're dead. I guess maybe they'll breed them.
Maybe we could try radioing home and see if we can't get some form of platoon to come over here. It would take time, too much time, but
We might have to assume that any of our radio transmissions are being monitored.
true. But I think if we blow the vaults and flip the bird at Kathy as we leave, we're probably going to be persona non grata anyways.
I was also thinking, we told John Hancock that there's 3 factions at last count that are warring currently. Even if Bacon wins, with or without our help, there's going to be more factions in the future. her rule will not be permanent. But she seems to be the lesser evil currently. So we could do that, we actually help her, and then we can take steps to deal with her afterwards in a more organized fashion and with the support of the local communities once the Forge and the Institute is no longer an issue.
The problem being, she's going to build her power base as we help her and ask us to help her build her power base.
Once we have a working fabricator, we could also be building ours.
True.
That's true.
We're not without technical resources. Me and Zebedee can do all sorts of things.
And I'm sure, like you said, there are others who would want to stand against that sort of tyranny, even though it's guised with happiness.
When they start talking about settling their differences and making a new constitution, I felt so dang hopeful for the future.
But for right now, like was said by Carl, we should probably think of the lesser evil right now and deal with the situation later.
Nate has been listening.
We don't have a lot of time.
Nate has been listening carefully to what you've been saying, and he says, so there are people trying to rebuild America right here, and you're helping them.
It's complicated, but that's kind of it.
We've assisted them.
If we could get a signal, we could probably call home for help. It'd take a few months for them to get here, but when this new America or this new Constitution gets signed, at least NCR could be able to assist.
My God, I could kiss all of you. Do you know how desperate I've been to find someone who even knows what America is, what America was, and what it could be again?
Well, I don't think we're going to ever go back to what it was.
No, I mean, you know what, that kind of makes sense. I mean, the last American experiment ended in fire and death of everything. But if there's some kind of new free, a new thing based on the principles of freedom, I would like to very much become part of that. After I find my son.
The Almighty did wipe away the slate clean so that we may improve our lives.
It was the Chinese.
Yeah, I was literally there. This was no god at work. This was people.
My people think it was God, and I will continue to believe that the Lord put the isotope in our hands so that we may burn ourselves to be better.
Tell that to the people in Quincy.
What about Quincy? I had some friends going there.
It was a dead town before we got there. It's more dead now.
It's about 50% more dead.
With a half-life of 10,000 years.
Oh, you've heard?
No, I hadn't, but yeah. Tim does, but Herbie doesn't. Well, I think we should all go get a good night's sleep and just plan on heading down to Vault 95 in the morning. If nothing else, we get out of here.
Before you guys do that, we need to wander around a bit more and be seen wandering around. All right? I told them that I was going to show you around some of Kathy Bacon's world. I've got to be seen showing you that exactly. So you've got to follow me around for at least another half hour, okay?
Oh, well, okay. What are they doing? You might as well educate us. If nothing else, it gives us an idea of what we will be facing for defenses in the future.
Well, all right, let me show you around. Look at my notes. You walk between Concord on the map. North of that, you walk up to the robotic disposal ground. And you make your way back to the Red Rocket, and I'll go through what you see at each one. So Concord is... You walk through Concord, and it's late. It's very late. You only see one or two people, but this seems to be a more haggard version of Sanctuary. There have been battles here, but the lines have moved fairly away at this point. There's a lot of damaged buildings. This is a mostly human settlement that is very much protected, quote unquote, by plenty of sentry bots and other robots. As you walk up towards the robotic disposal ground, you see that this was a massive pre-war. This is basically where a lot of old robots would be taken to be dismantled and recycled. And it's now clear to you that this is where most of the raw materials for the Fabricator in Vault 111 are coming from. This is heaped piles of steel, higher than most buildings you have seen. With this amount of dead tech, you can imagine that Kathy Bacon's forces, if this was all converted into new robots, they would have no trouble in winning this war. There's basically, this, from what you've learned from seeing it, there's a bottleneck. She needs more places for production. You make your way back to the Red Rocket, and that is all lit up. There's sparks flying from blowtorches as maybe 50 robots are being repaired. This is very much a main station for repairing robots as they come back from the front lines. And as you approach the bridge leading back over to Sanctuary, Nate turns around to you and says, "Look, I live at number 7. Knock on that door before you go. I'm ready to leave at a moment's notice. I've got my go bag ready. And maybe later you can tell me about what the hell is out there."
Mostly death. And not much of a difference.
And so many distractions.
And everybody wants a piece of you or something from you. Kind of just like you want something from us. And he pats him on the back. Don't worry, not everybody's a jerk.
I will pay you back however I can for this. I did think about leaving, but I didn't know what the world was. And Kathy wanted me to help build the town. And anyway.
It is a place of protection for families, so I can't completely disagree with what's going on here.
To a certain extent, it made sense that she promised that she would help me find Sean, but she never did. She always kept saying that there was always something more important happening.
Or she found Sean and she wanted to keep it from you.
And also the way computers, from what I remember from way back when, they have prioritized the way they do things, and your son probably is not high on her needs list.
Maybe not. I'm not an idiot, okay? I know that the chances of me finding him are remote. He could have been killed 20 years ago at the age of 75, and I wouldn't know. But if I could find some kind of sign of him...
You have a goal. You have something to make you move forward.
It's the only thing I got left. This fucking Kellogg guy took everything from me. Whoever started this fucking war took everything. You know what? Forget all that shit. Thank you. I gotta go. And he starts walking very hurriedly away.
I feel really bad for him that, sugar bombs guy killed his kid. Or his wife or something, I don't know.
Shot his wife and stole his kid.
Shot his kid and stole his wife.
It could be anywhere by now.
Yeah, to be clear, the wife died.
Yeah.
The baby is,
Yeah, no.
The baby is a question mark, but the wife is definitely dead.
My wife is dead. Wait, does that mean Nate is one of the many horror protagonists of I Miss My Wife?
That's a reference that went over my head, but I guess so.
A lot of horror protagonists from like Silent Hill and Alan Wake and some of the Resident Evil games is just my wife is gone.
That's fair. For anybody who's watching and has played Fallout 4 will know exactly what the inspiration for Nate is. Anyone who doesn't, he's just another guy. He's just another guy on the wasteland, and that's it.
Just a little guy.
I haven't played 4, so
I'm just
You're not
trying very
missing
hard
much.
not to miss a game right now.
You're not missing that much with Fallout 4. It's a good game, but it's not right. But I'll leave my complaints about Fallout 4 alone.
I'm doing what I usually do when I know a lot more about a setting. I metagame, but my character knows it because my character is moderately smart.
Yes, I understand that the introduction of Nate at this point puts some players in a difficult position, but with the setting I made, like, I couldn't not have Nate. Like, Nate had to be in it in some form.
True and real.
okay. But for plans for next session, because I know we're getting close, take or give a few minutes, but would be to go to Vault 95, correct? That's at least a tentative plan?
I mean, we'll have to get past a war zone to do it, but yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the plan.
We can do that.
Carl, what was your thing? Did you want to say your thing before when we've left, or?
Yes, I was planning to say my idea after we're well out of town and won't be listened to by robots anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying
have
that to
thoughts too.
anyone currently. I'm just going to drop it once, we've been walking for a few hours or something.
You have identified one area around there where you can be listened to, where you won't be listened to, back where you came from when Nate took you. That's one area that you're assuming, because Nate took you there, that is one area that you can speak freely. So if you want to go back there at any point, that's an option.
I'm going to wait until we're past that point. And when we're heading out.
So at this point, it's about 12:45 at night. You're just outside the gate. Nate has walked back in. I'm assuming you guys want to just you guys are done for the day, right? Like, you want to go to bed, or is there anything else you want to do first?
That'd be pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that's it from me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, this is a good place to leave it. No big plot twist or bombshell this time. You will go to bed. You all feel fairly apprehensive and a bit weird about everything that's happening. There's a lot going on that you're wrestling with. Some of you struggle to sleep. Some of you don't. I think Jade is the only one that's got any injuries, right?
Yep.
All right, let's do some endurance tests. You get to roll an extra dice on top of everything else because of the good job they did at the Human Repair Center. So that's endurance survival. Difficulty is the number of injuries you have.
I have 2, but I have the medical bag, so that reduces it by 1. Yeah. What did you say? Sorry. Endurance what?
Endurance survival.
Endurance survival.
That's the default, so you can just hit the survival button.
That's 1.
Yep, you have healed one of your injuries.
Amazing.
So you roll again for the second one, and yeah.
Yep. Hey,
Oh, damn. Yeah, so
he is in better shape than ever.
upon waking the next day, everyone's hit points are back to full. Jade, all of your injuries have healed through the night. That being a super mutant with that wonderful FEV that's coursing through your veins seems to have worked out for you. And as you wake up, you begin to walk out into the world with make your decisions on the way to Vault 111. And with that, we'll draw things to a close for the evening. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.
Do you mean Vault 95, not 111? We're at 111 Sanctuary.
We have to tell Kathy our decision.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, but you'll have 2 weeks to work out that plan now on the Discord, I hope. So, work things out, argue, rage at each other, figure things out, stomp your feet, work out whatever you guys want to do. And on that, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.